feel like this is the one video I don't have at least one Rare Beauty product on my face. Of course. Welcome back. Today we are doing a best and worst of Rare Beauty. I've been seeing this requested in my comments quite a bit. I have tried a lot from Rare Beauty. I haven't tried everything from them, but I made a list of all the products I've tried. I'm gonna be talking about which ones are my favorites that I would highly recommend and which ones were just a miss for me. I will say that Rare Beauty is definitely one of my favorite brands. I mentioned them in a video recently and put them under the It brand right now. But of course, with every brand, that doesn't mean every product is an absolute home run for me. Touchdown. It's almost football season. Anyways, I start my videos with an outfit of the day. We are fairly casual right now. I have on my 30 years shorts and a sports bra with this little top over it. I just finished filming a pretty in-depth video on the new Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I swatched all 15 shades on my eyes. So if you want to see that video, it is already up now. So I was tired after that. I literally just threw a cover up on and was like, that's good. So I will link all of my makeup down below, including the Natasha Denona palette. But this video is all about Rare Beauty. So Rare Beauty was founded by Selena Gomez and the brand launched in September of 2020. One thing that I found really interesting was a quote from Selena Gomez on why she wanted to start Rare Beauty. It says, "Creating this brand was a way to have open conversations around beauty and mental health and can change the industry by breaking down unrealistic standards of beauty together." Selena has really stayed true to that vision, even like with some of the names on some of the products and the collections that have come out, and just the work that she has done with Rare Beauty, raising awareness on different things. I feel sometimes with celebrity founded brands, it can feel a little bit, you know, like a little bit like a celebrity just putting their name on something, and the launches are just either too much or they're just really not that great. But in my opinion, Rare Beauty is one of those brands where the collections feel very thought out. They have meaning behind them. And to me, the brand is just really well done, and it's why I mentioned it as one of my It brands. So a few different comments that I was seeing, people wanted to see best and worst of the brand. I also saw a full face of Rare Beauty. So if you would like to see that, please definitely do let me know. But let's jump into it because like I said, favorites and fails as with every brand. And what's interesting to me about Rare Beauty is that when they first launched in 2020, I was instantly very curious about it. You know, I've been reviewing makeup on YouTube for 8 years. I get intrigued when new brands were coming out, and especially when we started to see Rare Beauty and the photos of the products and the marketing and you know, even just like the name behind it, the mission behind it. I was definitely wanting to pick up some of the products myself, and I went back and watched my initial videos on Rare Beauty because we didn't have a great start. And one thing that I pointed out in my videos was that I just didn't feel like the brand was for me with its first launches. Meaning like the lip product that they came out with, which was kind of like a, I think that one was the soft matte lip. I was like, I just don't really wear that type of lip product. There was a liquid highlight that came out and I was like, I just don't really wear liquid highlights all that often. So even though I didn't necessarily think any of those products were not good or didn't perform well, it just felt like that it wasn't really for my personal makeup style. And I remember getting a little bit of pushback in the comments, and I was like, oh no, I think there's a lot of people that really love Selena Gomez, and again, myself is included in here. And then I was a little bit leery to keep buying and trying Rare Beauty because I didn't want more like hate in my comment section over concealer, but I kept trying. I kept buying more products because even though at that initial launch maybe wasn't for me, it was like, well, they're gonna come out with more products. Let's try the next set that comes out. And I kept trying them, and I eventually started to find products that I really enjoyed from their collections, and kind of a full circle moment, but I was actually put on the Rare Beauty PR list. So now I am able to try out a lot of their releases. And again, just because I'm on a PR list doesn't now mean I love absolutely everything from the brand. There's still releases that aren't my absolute favorite, but that's what I am here to talk to you about in this video. But on my worst list, one of the products that I did have was that liquid highlighter. Again, to me, when I say worst in these videos, it's really just the products that didn't work out for me. If there's something that I do think genuinely is not a good product, then obviously I do mention it. But when I did best and worst of Natasha Denona, I did that one recently. There's a lot of products in my worst section that was just, it's not a personal favorite for me. So kind of that with the liquid highlight. It's a very pretty product, but as someone who doesn't wear a lot of highlighter or a lot of liquid products in general, that was one that I did end up decluttering. Another one that I just decluttered recently, but I was still filming my like short form declutter videos, so I still have it. I haven't figured out who I'm gonna pass this over to yet, but this is the Under Eye Brightener. It's a fairly newer-ish, I mean, in the scope of things, the brand launched in 2020, so everything's pretty new in general, but it's a fairly newer launch. Again, I don't think that this is a bad product. It's just not something that I wear for myself. So you have like the metal tip applicator, which is a little bit more cooling and depuffing for the eye. When you apply it, it gives you a little bit of like color correction and a little bit of brightening at the same time. Again, I don't think it's a bad product. I'm just not someone who uses an under eye brightener. I know these products have been popular in the past. Becca had one that was incredibly popular. I'm just not someone that loves to layer, especially for my under eyes. I don't feel like this has enough coverage to where it could be a concealer for me. Again, that's not what the product says it's going to be. But if it could be like a 2-in-1, great. But I have concealers that conceal my under eyes and also brighten them at the same time, and I would rather just use one of those instead of putting multiple products and then putting powder on my under eyes. The area is so thin that I just try not to put a lot of product down there, so that is why I put that one in the worst category. If this is a type of product that you use, I think that you would like it. But if it's not, I don't think it's one of those products that you absolutely need to have. Let's pop over and talk about some of my favorite products from the brand. Again, this is a little bit of a newer release, but these shadow sticks have really taken me by storm, okay? So the eyeshadow sticks, they can be used as a single shadow. The shade here is in Contentment, and it's what I wear the most, I would say, out of all of my shades. And it's just a beautiful, like, look at these, just like a beautiful bronzy shimmer shade. It gives you a little bit of like this wet look. A lot of times, especially like if I'm in a hurry, I do a lot of 1 shadow looks, 2 shadow, maybe like 3 shadows. I have 2 on my eyes today. But a lot of times I just take the shadow stick and I run it all over my eyes. I'll just take my finger and do a little blending out in my crease, and mascara, I am ready to go. These are so simple, so easy to use, and I was really surprised that I enjoyed these so much, because in the past I've not been a huge shadow stick fan. Not really sure why, but again, makeup preferences are always changing. You know, when I first started YouTube, I had really thick black wing liner and would wear lashes up to my brows and did matte foundation and a ton of highlight. Like, you know, our makeup preferences are always going to change just as we are. So I don't know if it's something to do with that, and I've definitely gone a more quick, easy, kind of natural route, I guess I would say, when it comes to makeup. But I did get these in PR, and I was like, sure, you know, I'll give them a try. And then it's what I've been wearing so much. And I get so many comments, especially on my short form videos where I don't post a whole description box, because usually people are just like, choo, choo, choo. But I get so many questions of what eyeshadow I'm wearing, and it's typically always this one, Contentment. So the shadow sticks are amazing. This is an older product, but I'm trying to think if this was like, I don't know if this was my first real, I'm trying to think what was my first like big love from Rare Beauty. From Natasha Denona, I really loved her highlight. And then the mini nude palette. Rare Beauty, there's a couple that stick out to me, but one of them definitely is this bronzer stick. Listen, when this bronzer stick came out, so many people started raving about it, myself included. This could not be kept in stock anywhere. Rare Beauty, it was going out of stock. Sephora, it was going out of stock. I mean, this is just one of the best cream bronzers that I have ever tried. Not just from Rare Beauty, not just from high end, not just from Sephora, just boom, hands down. This is the cream bronzer that you want in your collection. I love this because it is so easy to use. It is so blendable. It looks so natural. This is one that I can apply it directly to my skin, which sometimes cream bronzers I don't love to do because I feel like it can kind of pull my makeup a little bit, or it just kind of sits funny on top of the skin. This is one I can apply it directly to it and blend it out. I can blend this out with my fingers. Like, that's how easily blendable this bronzer stick is. Or if I use a brush, again, it just blends so smoothly. It doesn't take any of my other makeup away. You can build it up. You can put this over powder. I know there's still a lot of talk of like, can you put cream or liquid products if you've already done powder? Listen, there are some products out there like this Rare Beauty bronzer stick that are so good and so smooth and so creamy that you can put it on over powder. this to me is definitely like a must-have in your collection from Rare Beauty. Just in general too. Another newer product that I tried from them recently is their eyeliner. So this is just like a regular gel liner. I did not love this. This is one of those that I don't even feel like this is one that is necessarily like my preference, and it didn't work out for me. I just didn't feel like this was a good eyeliner. So for me, I feel like I'm slightly particular when it comes to eyeliner because it's one of my favorite makeup products to wear. I wear eyeliner every single time I do my makeup. Sometimes I wear eyeliner even if I don't have like any sort of a full face going on, but I just do some mascara. I just feel like eyeliner, I don't know, it's a step that I just need to have. I often put eyeliner in my waterline. I will often tightline. Sometimes I will put eyeliner on my lower lash line and then smudge it out with eyeshadow. I know eyeliner is not the sexiest makeup product out there, but I love it. I use it a lot. If you watched my recent makeup inventory video where I count all of my makeup, I had like 30 eyeliners, like 30 or 39 eyeliners. Okay, so I've tested a lot of eyeliners and I feel like I know what's good and what's not. I did do a video recently trying some of the new Rare Beauty launches, like the brow pencil and also the eyeliner and the shadow sticks. And you can just see from that video that I'm like, oh, I don't really think so on this eyeliner. I just really feel like you don't get anything when you put it onto the waterline, you know, compared to some of my favorites like the Glossier and the Urban Decay, and L'Oreal has a new one that's really good. It just doesn't glide really smoothly. If I put it onto my lower lash line, it just feels kind of like I'm just kind of like sticking myself with a pencil. Like it's just not smooth. You don't get a lot of payoff with it. So the eyeliner is one of those from Rare Beauty that I would not recommend just to anyone. One product that had me in a little bit of a conundrum of where to put it in this video is the liquid blushes, because the first, and I think this was one of the first products that I tried from the brand. I think that it was in that first Rare Beauty video. I tried one of the liquid blushes and I picked it up in a matte finish. And I think at that time I just preferred more matte makeup. So I got the matte finish and I really didn't like the blush. The way that I would describe it is that I felt like it made my face look very flat. Like when I wore it, I felt like it was very obvious that I was wearing makeup. You know, a lot of times it's like, yes, like I'm wearing makeup, but it was like obvious, like a stripe was on my face. I didn't feel like it blended very smoothly. And again, that was the way that I kept describing in my videos. I feel like it makes my face look flat. And so many people were like, this is the best blush. I don't understand how you don't like this blush. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I wish I liked it too, you know? And then I started trying the blush with the dewy finish. This is phenomenal. So the matte finish, I just personally I just don't recommend. Again, not even really a preference thing. The dewy blushes are beautiful. Again, as someone who doesn't wear liquid blushes a lot, I do appreciate that this is very easy to use. You really don't need a lot of product as well. Like honestly, like 2-3 dots, like a light-handed dot is going to get you really far. I don't think that this is something that I can blend out with my fingers like I can the bronzer. I do recommend like a stippling brush or a damp sponge, something along those lines. But once I started trying the dewy finish, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. The shade that I have and that I love so much is in Entourage because it's this beautiful mauve. So I would definitely recommend those. I also love the lip products, the lip liner and the matte lipsticks. I have been raving about these on my channel and all of my platforms since they launched. So the lip liners, like this was one of those that I got in PR, so I had a lot of different shades to choose from. And sometimes when I get that, especially this year, I've been trying to be more on not only just a makeup low buy, but also like a low keep. Like from what I get in PR, like trying to remove myself from PR lists and just trying not to have and hoard as much makeup as I have in the last 8 years since I've started on YouTube. But when Rare Beauty sent me these and I realized how much I loved the quality, how much I loved the formula, how much I loved all the shades that they came out with, I think I kept like 6 lipsticks and 5 or 6 lip liners. I was like, I can't help myself. I think that these are so beautiful. So the lip liners, you do twist up, twist down, which I think is great. I'm always like running to find my pencil sharpener, but these you can just twist up and twist down. I think this one is the shade Worthy, which is this really beautiful light pink shade here. These are very creamy lip liners and they stay so well, which is fantastic. And then I also grabbed out the Worthy lipstick. So So again, this is gonna be a really beautiful nude pink over here. The lipsticks are more of a matte finish, which I personally prefer. I think if these were to have been satin lipsticks, again, I don't think that they would be mentioned in like my top favorites because I don't wear satin lipsticks all that much, as I'm wearing a satin lipstick today, but I'm testing them out for a review. I think this is like the first video in forever that I'm not wearing at least one Rare Beauty product on my face. It's a very odd occasion over here. The lip liners and the lipsticks, I cannot recommend enough, and I'm wearing them so much. I do a lot of lip combo videos, and you've seen a lot of lip combos using both at the same time, or one lip liner or one lipstick. If you're a lip lover like me, I feel like you need some Rare Beauty lip products in your collection. So again, from that first launch that came out was the foundation and then also the concealer. The foundation and the concealer are both products that, again, I believe I tried in my first video. And these are, again, products that I didn't think was bad. I didn't think either of them like wore terribly or didn't blend or didn't look good on my skin. They were just products that didn't jump out at me. Again, as someone who has tried a lot of foundations and tried a lot of concealers and has had a lot of favorites and holy grails over all of these years, nothing jumped out at me. The foundation is more of a medium coverage and a natural finish, which is something that I really do prefer. But even when I was going back and like watching my videos, it was like, it was just fine. You know, it was fine and it was okay. The concealer, I remember I did have, I'm pretty sure I picked my shade out online and it was lighter than I would like it to be. But again, it's not that I didn't think that it blended the smoothest, and the color match could have been something too, but I just didn't feel like it made my under eyes look as smooth as some of my other concealers can do. So neither of these products ended up being favorites of mine, and I ended up decluttering them fairly quickly out of my collection. Again, not products that I think that are bad, but just not my overall favorites from the brand. Not something that, you know, if you're watching and you still haven't tried Rare Beauty, because again, the brand is only what will be 3 years old this year, next month or whatnot, but you're like, I still want to try something from it. You know, so far we've done the shadow sticks, the bronzers, the lip liners, the lipsticks, but let me tell you about this next product. And if you have been on my channel for any length of time, you probably know how much I love their mascara. Listen, how many mascaras do you think that I have been through? Because I want to say like 15 at this point. I buy these all of the time. And if I ever get, every once in a while we get a PR package from Rare Beauty that doesn't have just new releases, or I remember there was one that we got and it had like a set in it, and it was like a eyeliner and the mascara, and I was like, I'm gonna need to open this set and I'm gonna need to take that mascara, because I buy these so much. Like if Rare Beauty would send me like a lifetime supply of mascara, I would wear them all, okay? This is just one of my favorites. Now, I am someone who I love to test out mascaras. I wear mascaras basically all of the time because I don't wear false lashes a ton. I do have very sensitive eyes, so lashes are just harder for me to wear. And again, I do a lot of just more like natural makeup, so false lashes just isn't always my jam. But this mascara is phenomenal. I've been raving about it since it came out. I'm pretty sure this is a mascara that I purchased on my own first, and then I started to get it in PR. But this one is just amazing because it makes the lashes have more volume but also lengthens them as well. Typically you get a mascara that does one or the other. I think this does a great job at doing both. Makes them darker. This does not move. I have tested this in hot tubs. I have tested this in 122 Las Vegas heat, walking around outside. Like, this mascara, I hate mascaras that transfer on me. I cannot stand it. I don't want raccoon eyes. This mascara is not going to go anywhere. So again, this is like one of my tippy top must-haves to try from Rare Beauty. Another product that I feel kind of falls into that like fine category is the setting powder. So this is a loose setting powder. Now I will say that I still have kept this around through a lot of declutters, especially this year. I have been doing more and more declutters. I have a declutter video coming up. Spoiler alert, you might see this powder in there. Again, it's one of those that I kept because I was like, oh, this is nice. I don't have a big powder collection anymore, and sometimes I feel like I have to like have options. It's a mindset that I'm trying to move on from, and I think I've seen a few other YouTubers as well talking about this. Like I saw a thumbnail the other day and the title was like, I'm done hoarding makeup. And I was like, yes, I love this. Like I understand, me too. So I'm like, I don't always have to keep all of the options. But when I was doing a lot of my big declutters, this was one that stayed around because I was like, this is a pretty powder. It's not a favorite though. I definitely have my pressed and loose powders that I love so much more. So again, it's not a bad product. It's just, it's not one that I like hype up from the brand. And then a couple more lip products. I had the lip cream in my worst category. That again was just like a preference thing. I don't do like, even though I said I like matte lips, that kind of like soft matte or blotted matte lip look is just not my favorite. I've tried lipsticks like that from MAC. I've tried lipsticks like that from ColourPop. I feel like there's another brand that I'm missing. It's just not my personal favorite, and that was the first lip product that I tried from Rare Beauty, and I was like, okay, so like it's fine. If that's what you go for, you know, try out the one from Rare Beauty. I just didn't love it. And then we also have more up there lip balm here. I have the shade Nearly Neutral. Again, I have decluttered this. It's been sitting in a bag that I am giving to one of my friends who has wanted to try out Rare Beauty. And so I was going to put a couple products together for her. And since she's my friend, I was just going to give her this since you can't like sanitize these. So it's hard to like give these away to just anybody. But again, like it's pretty. Like to me, this is one that I put in the fine category as well. It's just not my absolute favorite lip product. And again, I'm kind of particular when it comes to my lip products. So if you're looking for my personal recommendation, like if we have similar styles, my recommendations are definitely going to be the matte bullet lipstick. But if you like a lip balm, I mean, it's a pretty shade. It's a pretty balm. It didn't necessarily knock my socks off, but you know, I hope my friend ends up loving it. And then let's finish off the worst category and then we'll finish off the video with my faves. Okay, so again, the primer, listen, you've probably heard me say this, but I'm just not a big primer girl these days. I don't wear face primer all that often. I basically never wear eye primer. But face primer is just one of those that it's kind of like a take it or leave it in my collection. I know that is not the same for everybody. I definitely started trying the primer before I was really like not using primer as much. And it was just, again, another one of those kind of like the foundation and the concealer. It just didn't stick out to me. There wasn't anything that I was like, oh, this is so beneficial. It's making my pores smaller. It's gripping onto my foundation. It makes my skin smoother. Like foundation applies so much easier when like any of those kind of claims that you can get with primers. It just to me was like an extra product that I was putting onto my face. So I did declutter that one. And also I will say, I just really wasn't a fan of the eyeshadow palettes. So the palette design, I'm sure I'm putting photos in here. The palette design didn't necessarily blow me away. I remember I did purchase this palette myself. I was just curious about it. I wanted to try the formula. Again, it's so funny because to me when this brand launched, I feel like I knew deep down that this was going to be a favorite brand of mine. I just had to wait it out. You know, I was like on the sidelines, like waiting for the brand to realize that they loved me back. You know, I feel like I've been reading too many rom-coms these days, but it's just funny because I kept trying and they would come out with new releases. I was like, yes, I'm gonna try that one too. But the eyeshadow palette, I was actually pretty disappointed by. Again, this is another one that I'm not gonna be able to recommend. I think that there's a lot of great eyeshadow formulas out there, and to me, this isn't where Rare Beauty shines. Now, of course, the next palette they come out with could be amazing. Obviously formulas can change and all of that, but from the packaging to like the shade selections, and then of course to the formula, it was just not something that I was like, we should all have this. But because I like to think of myself as a positive Polly, let's end this on a positive note. Now, one thing I will say is I'm not a highlight girl, but this highlight is so good. It can even persuade me to wear it from time to time. So this is their new highlight that they released. And I mean, if you can just even see from me holding it up, it gives this beautiful like wet effect shine to the face. And it's stunning. The shade that I have here is in Exhilarate. If you are still a highlight lover, I would definitely recommend checking this out. Again, as someone who doesn't even wear the highlight product, I'm like, I don't even want to get rid of that because what if I decide I am a highlight girl again? I need to have that one from Rare Beauty. Listen, I used to love highlights. I have collabed on my own highlights with Ofra Cosmetics. I feel like I know a good highlight formula, and Rare Beauty, that one is a good one. I also really enjoy these cream blushes. Now, this shade again is in Nearly Neutral. I was a little bit nervous. I bought this one as well, and I had tried the liquid blush and I didn't love it. Then they came out with the cream blush and I was like, well, you know, I do use cream more than I do liquid, so let's just give it a try. I remember saying in my video, like, I feel like there's a Reddit thread about me of like, did you know Samantha and Selena used to be friends and they had a falling out, and now Samantha's trying to like ruin the Rare Beauty brand? Like, that was how I felt in some of my early videos about Rare Beauty, even though I wasn't even mean. But I was so nervous about it, but this blush is stunning. Again, another thing that I like about this too, same with the bronzer stick, is that it's just so easy to use and it's very natural looking. My favorite way to apply this is by using a damp sponge, and I just tap it in here and then directly onto my cheek, and it is beautiful. So even though I have been valiantly trying to cut down my blush collection, because somehow my blush collection always grows and grows and grows, like, I cannot get rid of that one from Rare Beauty. So I would recommend that actually over the liquid blush. And I feel like that's an unpopular opinion because I feel like more people love the liquid blush, but I'm going with the cream. And then the final product, again, this is a newer one, but this is their brow pencil. So I am also quite particular with my brow pencils. Basically, the only way that I do my brows is with a pencil. I like something that's a little bit more precise, like this one has the spoolie, but I feel like brows, it's so funny to me because when I started in 2015, I did not do my brows. I think I was on YouTube for like 2 years, didn't put a hint of brow products into my eyebrows. Full face, wing of liner, lashes, no brows. It was amazing. What a time to be alive. Now I'm quite particular on my brows, and I feel like a bad brow day can really throw me off. So when I find a good brow pencil, I hold on to it tight, and I repurchase it consistently. And this is a great one, and one that I will repurchase. I like it because it's very smooth and creamy, but not too much, and it has a little bit of a waxy feel to it, to where it feels like my brows are really gonna stay in place without having to add on a brow wax or a brow gel. Typically steps I don't do anyways, but it's because I use brow products that are really good and are just going to continue to stay, especially again in the heat and all these other desert weather conditions that I test my makeup in. But this brow pencil I really enjoy. I have the shade Rich Taupe. It's maybe like a slightly darker for my brows, but I prefer a darker brow than I do prefer like a lighter brow. So Rich Taupe I feel like is a good shade match for me. After that, that is everything. That is the best and worst of Rare Beauty. Again, those are the products that I have tried. I know there's some releases that I haven't gotten to. I did not get the lip oils. We've been having some mail theft for a while at where I live, and I believe when the lip oils came out, I think that they were stolen from me, and I keep meaning to buy one from Sephora. I have a Sephora cart going right now, and I just need, this is editing Samantha, this is me reminding myself to put a lip oil into my cart. But also I want to ask you, did you try the lip oils? Do you like them? Would you recommend them? Should I buy them? I just feel like I've bought and tried so much from Rare Beauty, and I love lip products, so I really want to test out that lip oil for myself. But I hope that you found this helpful. Please drop your favorite Rare Beauty products in the comments, or what do you hope the brand will be coming out with next? Sometimes it's exciting with newer brands of like what they're going to be coming up to next. So let me know in the comments. I'll see you in my next one.